Hello and welcome to the Bogey Club, a Break 90 podcast. Today I'm joined by my cousin and professional soccer player for York City in England, Sean Newton. We talk about his sort of soccer journey and his life during lockdown as a soccer player and also as an avid golf player as well. We also go through the Break 90 quiz room to find out when he actually broke 90 for the first time, which wasn't that long ago, surprisingly, considering he's actually quite good. Thank you very much, and we'll get started. So you've been working in a COVID test site then? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
While you've been off? Because obviously with lockdown you haven't been able to play. So how long's footy been down for then? It's just been null and voided?
I think the last day we were in was the 12th of February, and I haven't been in since.
Wow, man. And it's got any signs of starting back up again at all?
Literally been told just to report back for the 1st of July.
Jeez, so pre-season.
Our season got curtailed or null and voided only a couple of days ago, funny enough. And then we were just told to keep ticking over till we're back in on the 1st of July.
That is crazy. And so, I mean, it shut down last year, didn't it, obviously? And then started back up again.
Yeah.
When was that?
It shut down. We were top of the league, and the team below had 2 games in hand, and I think we're 4 points behind us. I might be wrong. And it got shut down. I think we're the first team in the history of football for a season to finish at top of the league, not get promoted.
That's insane. That's so unfair.
So we did 1 points per game, and we come back for the playoffs, and then we obviously got beaten them. We didn't even get there that far this year. I think we played 12 or 13 league games by February.
That is mad. And then so obviously you started the season again, and then lockdown happened again and shut down, and you didn't want to replay it like last year. You just wanted to fuck it off completely. That's crazy.
I think because there's that many. We've had to play like 28 games, something like that, in the space of 2.5, 3 months. It was just never going to be doable.
Yeah.
There was that many shutdowns through teams getting COVID and the whole place having to shut down because it was too hard to manage. You've got, at the time, you had families you had players for us whose children were in schools. So they're obviously going to catch the virus at some point, and then instead of just trying to shut it down, it was impossible just for that person to stay away. So we had to shut down as a whole company, as a whole football club, for 10 days, 2 weeks. We had to do that twice as a club, but then obviously some teams who we'd be due to play when we were back, it had happened to them, and then they couldn't play. So the fixture pile-up was ridiculous, and in the end, it was the right thing to do.
Yeah. And yeah, obviously the clubs don't have the money that the big boys have to be constantly testing you. Were you getting tested at all much?
The first lockdown, and when we come back for the playoffs, we were getting tested once or twice a week.
Yeah.
And then it got to a point where clubs didn't have to be tested from the start of from the start of the season that was just finished. But if you just got symptoms, you were told to just report it, stay off, go and get a test, and if it come back negative, you could come back in, basically. But some people get the virus and wouldn't even know they've got it, pass it on to someone else who would know they've got it and have to go and get a test. Then that's why it gets shut down, if that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely.
So it was a nightmare. So yeah, it's been a nightmare, really.
You getting vaccinated?
Funny enough, I've just got a letter to say I can get the jab, so I'm going to get booked in and get it. Yeah.
I've got mine on Thursday.
Have you? Nice. Have you? Me mum and dad have had it, and I think they're due the second one. And I got a letter to say I can go and get my first jab. I've just got to book in.
What are you getting?
I don't know.
Johnson.
I don't think you can. I think it's just you turn up on the day and get told what it is like.
Really? Oh, I couldn't do that.
I haven't got that far.
I couldn't do that just because of everything that's happening. Like, I've heard loads of bad things about Moderna, which is like the other second one, isn't it? The main. That's the one. I think my mum got Moderna. I think my stepdad Joe got Pfizer, but don't get Johnson.
Maybe when I ring up and get it done, they'll give me options or literally tell me the only ones they've got, but I haven't got that far yet. I only got the letter a couple of days ago, to be fair.
Obviously, your sort of life the last 9 months has been completely different to ours, because I don't think we've been locked down since. Were we ever locked down, really? I think back in March, April we were, and then everything started. Golf was like the first thing to open. So I was a sort of bit. You've been playing golf recently, like the last 2 weeks, haven't you?
Oh my God, a breath of fresh air, let me tell you. I think I played 6 times in 12 days.
Oh, jeez.
I've been trying to get as many in as I can. Like, it's so good being out there again. Just I don't suffer mentally or nothing, but just once you've finished around the golf or you're out there playing, you just feel totally different in everything. Probably more so than football, and that sounds crazy because football's been my life, but there's none better than around the golf in the sunshine and then finishing at the 19th with a nice old pint.
Yeah, there's nothing better. Well, actually, that's a good point, though, isn't it? What is your viewpoint on football or soccer? Because it's your life and your job. Do you feel any different towards it? Because I'm not. I guess I'm a small comparison because I'm working it every single day of my life as well. It's changed my sort of opinion on it, where I don't have that sort of passion for it because it's my job now.
So younger, up until you're 25, 26, it's more of a hobby. It's a job now. That's what it is. Don't get me wrong. I'd pick it over any other job in the world.
Yeah.
But the actual hobby feel for it is gone, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I love going into work every day. I love what I do. But it could be, if someone's a lawyer, they love their job. It's not a hobby. Do you know what I mean? They just love the job. So I'd say that's where I'm at with football. I love going in. I love playing. But it's not. It used to be a hobby. It's not a hobby no more. It's a job, if that makes sense.
Definitely, yeah. I completely.
There's a lot more downs and ups as well in football, which people don't really see as well.
And I'm like that at the moment. Like, we had a game yesterday, Sunday. Basically, whoever won it would go to nationals in Colorado, and we got smacked. We got absolutely smacked around. Mostly because half my team had just got off a flight from Florida, so they were still in holiday mode. But there's so many downs to it. You love the sport and stuff, but there's so many downs that people don't see, and even the other side of it, like the parents and stuff like that. Obviously, it's a little bit different for you because you're a professional athlete. You've got the fans to deal with, but there's not as many positives as you think, and then that's that coming away. And then you watch Liverpool the weekend, and it's not the same for that as well. I find it different watching Liverpool now, where I feel like I'm more watching it from a job point of view rather than watching.
Well, that's what I mean. If you're a manager, a coach now, so you'll watch it from your point of view and feel the feelings you'd feel if you was a manager, or you'd watch the game with your manager head on. Do you get me?
Yeah.
So I'll be watching it with my player head on, thinking where people will just be saying stuff about the players. Because you play the game, you'll realise maybe they're carrying a knock and that's why they're struggling in a game. Or there's so many things that come to a player going through a bad patch of form. That's not just he's not bothered, because he will be bothered.
Yeah,
he will be bothered. He's not playing well. For instance, Manny.
Yeah,
he works his socks off every game, but everyone's on his case at the minute.
Yeah,
I've heard a few phrases saying, I think I said he's been Space Jammed because Space Jam's coming back out. But it could be a lot of things going on in his life. It could be being locked down and only being able to be in just only be able to go to training and go home.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's in a great position. He's earning a lot of money, but if you hear the stories about Manny, he doesn't care about money. I think he gives half his wage to the country he's from.
Yeah.
So it's never just a player doesn't want to play for us no more, or he's not happy. There'll always be something else, possibly in the background or in the back of his mind that's playing on, that's affecting him in some way.
Yeah, the mental game is so huge, and people don't realise it at all. It's massive.
I've seen plenty of players be seen off because of the mental side of football who are far better than me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even at my level, but just because they can't handle. Are you allowed to swear in this podcast or not?
Yeah. I mean, Adam does a swear. We had it out 35 minutes of the podcast every week.
Exactly. Well, because of the shit you get, it is tough. At times, there's times where you do question whether what you're doing is right and stuff. And then that's when you're either mentally tough enough to carry on, or you need to realise that it's not for you no more and you move away. And no decision's the right decision. It's whatever's best for you in your life moving forward.
I had that this Sunday afternoon. Questions. This is therapy for me now, talking to Sean.
I've been through it all, trust me.
Honestly. Would you rather be a professional soccer player or a professional golf player?
So you're asking me if I'd rather be Dustin Johnson or Lionel Messi?
Well, yeah, not Sean Newton and some PJ Pro at the top level.
I think I'd be a golfer,
Would you really?
Yeah. Mate, the majority of the time you follow the sun. And every time you strike a ball, you know exactly where it's going.
You don't get that.
You know, it's just that feeling of stepping up and being that good at golf where you know you're putting it within 6 foot of that pin every time, or your drive's going the fairway. Imagine if knowing you hit a good drive or a good pitch, or the feeling you get is like unbelievable. It's like scoring a goal. Imagine doing that every time.
Yeah.
I don't think you'd get bored of the feeling.
No. And then obviously every time, like you said, every time you're playing, you're in some amazing place in the world at the best time.
You travel the world, literally.
Yeah.
And as I say, I think with football as well, a lot is hotels, but training, you've got to, especially at the top level, your diet's got to be so strict, where as a golfer, I think you've got a bit more leeway to sort of live a normal life, if that makes sense. Yeah. So I think the overall aspect of a golfer appeals to me more.
Yeah, one thing you just said there about like training and your diet and stuff like that. If you look at all football players, and none of them are fat, they're all in good shape. Whereas you get a lot of golfers who are all different shapes and sizes.
Yeah, and I bet you they can go for a couple of pints a week and it not affect them too much. Where you look at Milner, he's probably never touched an alcohol beverage in his, definitely for the last 10 years, and the only reason why he's done that is because he wants to prolong his career as long as he can.
That's a good point, yeah.
So the strictness you've got to have in your diet and your life.
Yeah, James only plays for Liverpool is how old is he now? 35 maybe? Is he that old? 34?
35.
Yeah, and he's
he's still winning, like not even pre-season, he's still first in all the runs. It's what he's doing is crazy.
Yeah, it's insane. And you got like Lee Westwood's 40, was it 44, 45, and he's in the top 2 in the last few tournaments, and he's the fact he's 45 and still playing at the pinnacle says everything, doesn't it?
Look at Jimenez, he was smoking cigars and on the golf course. What more do you want at that age?
I know. Even like I think we were talking about this last time, Tom Watson. Remember the British Open like 10 years ago? Tom Watson and Stuart Sink, because Stuart Sink won last week, didn't he? That's why everyone was talking about it. But he was senior, so I think he was in his 60s, and he was still in a playoff for the British Open.
That's what I mean. That's another thing. You can play the sport you love longer.
Yeah.
The longevities. Football career is so short. It's most, especially nowadays, young kids aren't starting, let's be honest, till 2021. And then they're finishing at majority 33, 34.
Yeah.
You only get the odd case like Milner or Ramos, I think, Modric. There's not many that you can think of that are at that age still playing at the top level.
How many years do you feel like you got left?
I don't know. I felt good last season still. Obviously I'm going to be 33 in September, so I'll know. I'm not one that's going to chase it. You know, once I feel like I'm done, I'm not going to try and carry on and grind it out. I'm just literally once I feel like the blessing I've got is when so much when I was younger is I've never been blessed with pace. I think players with pace, when they get older, they struggle a lot quicker than players who have had to use the brain to be in the right position or not get caught out positionally mainly. So I think in that sense, I'm okay. I don't think I've lost as much pace as I was when I was 28, 29, to be honest.
Yeah, your experience must be like your experience must like just be making you get better and better in a certain point of view then.
Yeah, and obviously I've dropped into centre half now, so you're not really getting isolated out wide against young, quick wingers who just want to knock it and run. I'm not getting caught out there. I'm playing centre half, so I've got them tucked in and doing that for me.
So actually, talking about players when they're younger, I always find this sort of interesting because from a coaching point of view now, we've got all these sorts of players. Like we've got like 900 players in our academy here, and I think at the moment you might have one who maybe have a chance of going to be professional. Not saying like he's guaranteed or anything. You got a few players who can go Division 1, but at what point did you like know you were going to make it?
I wouldn't even say I had a point where I knew. I obviously at 16 I got released at Tranmere because my mate in the year below me was Aaron Creswell. He's at West Ham now, so Tranmere have let me go, knowing that they had him coming through.
All right.
So at 16, that was my first knockback, and then I went on.
Hold on a second. So at 16 in England, you get youth contracts, right? The YTS.
Yeah,
So
a scholarship, 2-year scholarship where you can do a college. You do like your coaching badges, and if your GCSEs aren't that high when you finish school, you can sort of resit them to get them a bit of a better grade.
right.
So
Well,
I ended up going on trial to Chester. Got my scholarship there. I think they were in League Two, so a league below than Tranmere. Then I got from my 2-year scholarship, I got a year's professional contract. Made me debut in League Two, and then the club. Then the next season after I got another year, the club went bust.
Oh yeah.
So I ended up dropping 2 divisions, and I was getting like all right money. I think it was £300 a week, and I was living at my mum and dad's house. So at that time, I thought it's jackpot because I'd gone from, believe it or not, in League Two, 2 leagues above, I was on £120 a week.
Oh really?
So I dropped 2 levels and got £300 a week. So at that time, I was like over the moon, and then I was only playing part. What year?
Showing your age now. Sorry.
Must have been 2021 now. So 2009, 2008, around that time.
Yeah.
And then obviously it was part-time there. And then from there, I went to tell part-time team in the same league, but with a better club, better fan base. They got 2,500 fans and that. And we got promoted. I got promoted with Telford. And then from there, I had the chance to go back full-time to Stockport. And then once I got to Stockport at 23 was probably when I thought I could make a full-time career out of the game.
Wow.
So a lot of people say once I left school or 18, 19, it probably didn't hit me till I was 23. I was part-time till I was 22, 23, coaching like you, coaching kids. Not for a football club, though. It was more for like an academy like that had been made by someone.
Yeah.
So I was coaching for them in the days and then playing football part-time overnight. And then obviously I had to cut the coaching out, went to Stockport, started my full-time career again from there.
Well, it's interesting because you see a lot of young players coming through now who think when they make their youth team at 16, 17, like you see them on Instagram signing the contracts and stuff, they think they've made it. And then next thing you know, they're released by 21, and then like I knew a couple of lads, like, so John Flanagan was in my year, and he obviously went on to play for Liverpool, but there was another few lads really who were all, I think our school team had 9 players in clubs. One was at Chester as well, so it's the same time that you went bust. Who signed youth contracts, but were all out of soccer by 21. So it's just interesting that at 23, that's when you decided. But at least I think you were real about it, which I think a lot of these kids come through aren't.
I knew early doors. I knew I knew to play the top. You need to be, for the start. You need to be rapid. Pace was massive. Look at the game now; it's changed totally.
Yeah.
The days of being even centre halves now, the slow centre halves like get found out quickly in the Premier League. You need pace, and then I think academies now think if they've got pace, we can work on the technical ability.
Yeah.
So I think fundamentally, even as a young kid now, they look for athleticism more than like there'll be players there that then get on the ball in the half turn. They're incredible, but they go under the radar because they're looking at players who are sprinting 20 yards and scoring because they're fast.
We went to the academy. Obviously, it wasn't last time I was in England. It was the year before. It was like April 2019, and we met with like. They do like all the U4s and 5s there, which I think is like, when you look at it, it's like, wow, they're really trying to recruit U4, 5s and 6s. And he said like, all we're looking for is like, we'll do a session, just a little fun session, and we will literally pick the fastest kid here and the most athletic kid here. It doesn't even matter if you can kick a ball, we will just pick them. And then we watched the U11 12 game, and I can't remember the guy's name. He's an old coach, and he's been at Liverpool for a while, and he's been around like the England setup and stuff. And he said, see this kid here, he's gonna go play for England. And he was 11 years old, and like you said, he wasn't like technically the best player on the field. He was technical better players. They were playing this Polish team, but like he got the ball the halfway line, sprinted through 4 players, and just slotted. Just quick and scored. And then he lost his head a bit, almost got sent off as an 11-year-old, and he got pulled off by the coach I was talking to. But he said like he's better than like Raheem Sterling. He's better than these kids I've seen coming through, and he'll go all the way.
You obviously he knows more than us, and you'll know more than me coaching wise. I've never had me coaching head on, but for me at that level, you will have that player that excels pace wise. But once you get to a top level or a youth team level, the majority of players have got that in the locker.
That's why I was like curious about it, because it's the same here, even if it's a different sort of level. When you're playing that small side stuff, 77, 99, the fast players always show up, and then you get to, or the ones who just run through everyone, and then you get to like U14, and then next thing you know, everyone could do that. So it's a different game.
Well, can you imagine when you get to youth level, and then once you get to the pro level, he's that quick. What happens when he's running against, I don't know, Van Dijk or
Van Dijk's fastest centre back in the league.
Ruben Diaz or Kyle Walker? His pace doesn't matter then.
Yeah.
He needs a bit more than pace. So it's crazy how the game. I'm getting off the game when I am, even if it's 3 or 4 years, because everything's gone. The love growing up, like you were scared to talk to the first team and washing boots for the first team, and we used to have to take the nets down off the goals, even though they were getting used the next day, just to show that's what we need to be. We can walk off the training field and not have. Or we'd be training in winter in December. The balls would be full of mud. We'd have to clean them for the next day. As soon as you roll the ball next day, it's full of mud again. But it was just showing you to get to that level, or when you get that level, the feeling will be better.
Yeah.
Where now, I feel like kids coming through. It's not nothing to do with the kids. That's just the era we live in now. They don't know they're doing anything different, or it's a lot easier for them to play. I remember once being a kid and Megan, one of the first team players, and he's just come over to me, whispered me, and said, "You do that again, and you won't play football again." Do you know what I mean?
Oh wow!
If I'd done that to a kid now, I'd probably have the FA on my case. That's
fine.
Don't get me wrong.
By the team, and then
it's probably not right what he done. It's probably, in fact, it isn't right what he done. But then when I've come up to stage in my career where I needed to be mentally stronger, I look back to that and think, he said that to me, and I carried on regardless. Is that helped me? Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
So there's no right or wrong. I just feel like I prefer coming through the time I've come through than maybe coming through now. Bear in mind, I think kids now, especially at my level, have got more chance of getting. He did years ago, because years ago you needed to be 6'2", hard as nails. At these levels, it technical ability or footy, I don't think as much. Where now these levels have got some unbelievable players in. And that's why you get League One, Championship, League Two teams coming and paying clubs money for them, because they're that good. They've just fell out the system in some way, found somewhere where they can regain confidence in their ability, and then they've kicked on again.
Yeah. I was listening to a golf podcast the other day, and it was Rick Shields' podcast, and he had on his golf coach, and he asked him about a golf player coming through, what sort of level does he have to be to make it pro? And he said a +4 to +6 handicap, meaning if he shoots every round 4 under or 6 under. So like players coming through at the youth level for you, is the players coming through that aren't at that sort of pinnacle that would still get through? Like, is it such a different sort of level? Do you know what I mean by that?
Oh, it's crazy, because I've seen like youth team players be forced into first teams that I've been in and been told they'll make it. But when they've stepped up or played reserve games or been involved in the first team 11v11s, the miles off it, and I know straight away. They're nowhere near ready now, and the club are forcing it, or they just won't be ready.
Right.
But then there's other players who they're not forcing on you as a player or as a first team, that when they come in quietly, do everything that they need to do right. And I think not as got much flair. That's the difference.
Sorry, the internet was going off a little bit then. I think when you said like the players that they weren't forcing in, and then it went off a little bit.
Yeah, so sometimes players who just get drafted in for 11v11, who aren't getting forced to train with the first team or aren't getting spoken about as much, the majority of the time, they're the ones that I feel, when I train with and play with, they'll earn a living out the game.
Yeah.
Regardless of what level it's at, they'll earn some kind of money out the game. Like.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of maybe the lower down clubs try to do what the Premier League clubs do, where like you force like Raheem Sterling into the starting lineup because you think he can make it, but the players at the lower levels aren't exactly at the same sort of peak he was. It is still a golf podcast, by the way. How's your golf rounds been? Your 6 rounds?
My last round weren't the greatest, to be honest. I think I shot 80 something, but it was Carden Park and it was tough, to be fair. But I've been surprisingly, considering I hadn't played since last August, possibly the end of July. I've been my drive now. I've got my drive mastered. It's fairway every time. My putting's getting better. I think I'm going to break 80 this summer, like consistently.
Consistently, I was going to say, yeah, because you have them before, right?
Yeah. I was when you said.
What's your handicap? You think?
Me handicap on my phone at the minute is 12, but the lads are saying you can't trust that because apparently I don't know. You might be able to correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if this is happening worldwide or whether it's just happening in the UK. There's rumours that courses now are getting graded. So your handicap will change on the grade of the course.
It's called a slope rating. So in America,
is that happening all over the world? That is it.
It's always been here in America, so I imagine it will do. Yeah.
It's only just getting brought into England then, because it's only just started getting spoken about. Apparently, courses in England now are going to, so it'll be the same as usual. It'll get graded. It's like Allerton Manor is par 67. I've shot 74 there. That's my best ever score. I'm not shooting 74 at Carden Park. Never.
No.
So I think what they're going to do is they're going to do what obviously they do elsewhere. We're just a bit slow.
Yeah. Yeah, it's too traditional in England. They just want to keep it the old ways. No, it's a slope rating, so you can have two courses that are both par 72, but you know for a fact one's a lot easier, so the slope rating will be lower. So when you're working out your handicap, you take the slope into account. So if even on your phone, or it's actually, like your GIN number, which is the actual golf handicap. When you put your score in, you put the slope in as well, and it counteracts it. And then your real handicap number is the best 8 rounds of your last 20. So you're not at 12 because it'll take the best 8 rounds of your last 20, when you shot low numbers.
I've got 46 scorecards on that app, going back 4 or 5 years.
Exactly.
So I've got a few 90s on there that I haven't hit 90 for I don't know how long.
Yeah. So if you do it properly, it's like $30 to get your GIN number, and then you put your scores into that, and then it'll do it all for you. But it's the last 8, the best 8 of your last 20. That's how you work it out. So like you're not at 12, no way, because I'm a 16. So I'm not 4 shots behind you. I know I'm not.
You never know. You've been playing a lot.
Yeah. I got shot at 82 last week.
I know, I've seen.
Let's go. And I should have shot 70s.
Are you breaking 70 this year or what?
Breaking 80. I hope so.
80, sorry.
I could have that day. Like when I think about that round, I had an out of bounds shot, so I dropped the shot there, but then I found my ball, so it was only one shot. Pretty sure I had a water penalty drop as well, where it was on the edge of the water, I had to pull it back, so it was 2 shots. And then, like you said when we spoke about it, like I had like 2 birdie putts that lipped out, or like 2 par putts that lipped out, that became tapping bogeys and pars. Where you're looking at, you're like, I could have shot fucking 75 if I wanted to.
Crazy.
But like part of it is like, for me, with you being a professional soccer player, do you feel like your mental game is a lot better and you can take it over to golf? Because there's a lot of times in golf where if I start bad, and I know for a fact I'm shooting 144.
Well, do you know what? I'd say I lose me. Say I get, so the other day we were playing and I was 5 over through 10. I was absolutely flying. Everything I was hitting was like lovely. Even me approach shots. Me putting weren't brilliant, because me approach shot was giving me a chance of a birdie. I was always getting a par or a bogey. And I hit a drive on this par 5. And because I was playing well, I didn't go for it. I hit a 7 iron and I thought, I'll use my degree wedge, put it on the green, take me par. For some reason, I've changed my mind and used me. No, sorry, I was going to use my sand wedge and change my mind, use my degree wedge, and I don't know why. It was sat in like a little bit of grass, but a little bit of dirt. There was no grass, so I ended up thinning it into the trees. Like I must have hit it about 200 yards. I thinned it that hard into the trees. Then I found it, tried to play out, hit a tree and drop, end up with a 7.
Oh.
But on a par 5, a 7 isn't the end of the world. But at the point where I was at from my 2 shots. So the next hole, I end up double bogeying.
Okay.
So I've gone from 5 over through 10 to dropping 4 shots on the next 2 holes. So then I recovered after that. So I'd say mental state, no, I don't really, for a minute my head does go, but it doesn't take me as long as it used to recover. and get my score back.
I would say as soon as my head goes, it's gone. As you know, my brother Adam, his head goes on the second hole and he quits on the 15th.
You should have seen him on Carden Park. Oh my God. Hey, he hit a drive, right? And it literally, he's gone to hit it as hard as he can. And it's literally popped off the floor, popped in the air. And I think he could have caught it, to be honest. Honestly. And then he was like, if I don't hit this ball now, I'm getting off. We were only on the 5th hole. So he swung he's got his 3-wood out. He never uses it. It's his 3-wood about 4 yards. Then I can see him like he got a little strut on fuming. He hit his 3-wood then right into the trees. I think he got a 7 or an 8. Oh no, he got a 10. He got a 10. So he got a 10. He was raging. So and he was like, I don't even want to. I can't be bothered. I said, well, just hit this drive right, and then you're flying. He was on the green and 2 on the next hole. Missed his birdie putt by a centimetre and dropped it in for a par. So he went from a 10 to a 4. So that's where our Adam's at the minute.
So I think back to when my brother Adam, I don't even know if he watches or listens to this, but when he came over, they came over here in 2018. I took them to a Coaxit. Actually, no, I took them to LeBaron Hills first, which is a really nice country club and super expensive. Like the initiation fee is like $100,000, and then it's $5,000 a year to be a member. And he quit on the 15th hole there. And then we took him to a Coaxit that I think the day after, the one by the water. Yeah. He didn't play. He just didn't play because he was so mentally gone from the day before.
Yeah, the day before ruined him. But also we got home from golf that day, and if you remember, we were playing what's that game? Wiffle ball. Wiffle ball. Do you not remember? He nearly snapped his knee in the back garden.
He fell over, and his feet went higher than his head, and he had flip flops on, and they went flying even further.
It was like a comedy sketch, mate. Honestly, I couldn't breathe. Sometimes I'll be sat at home watching the telly, and that'll come into my mind, and I'll just burst out laughing. It was that funny. He was limping for 2 days after.
Oh God! Well, I just keep thinking like they're 2 amazing golf courses. Like especially
honestly, the best course I've ever played is the first one you said,
LeBaron Hills. Yeah, it's so good, and it's probably the same with Carden Park. Like you're going there for a day out. Like those type of golf courses, you go for a day out, and you really appreciate the golf course. You stay and have something to eat, or whatever. To give up is insane.
Crazy. I was crazy.
And if you're listening, Adam, I'm sorry, but thanks for listening. Yeah.
I think we're going to try and get to Celtic Manor.
Really? Yeah. Riley Cup was there?
We've got offers on at the minute.
Wow.
It's crazy.
Is that in Wales? Is it in Wales or Hertfordshire?
Is it in Birmingham?
I don't know. It's the one the Riley Cup was at like years ago. Graham McDowell got the winning putt.
I think it's in Birmingham. I might be miles off it there with that.
Let's Google it.
But
you can keep
they've got mad offers on at the minute. It's like a stay over and a round of golf for like £130. Crazy.
Staying over as well?
Yeah.
Oh, that's...
Like Formby Hall, Formby Hall local there, don't you?
Yeah.
That's really expensive. I've just booked there at the end of May. A round of golf in the day, stay over. You get your food in the night, breakfast in the morning, and a round of golf on the Saturday. £129 for that. 2 rounds of golf and a stay over. I swear it's about 70-80 quid just for one round there.
That's awesome.
I think they're basically just trying to get the money back for the year they've lost. So they're just getting people out there on the courses. Like that's why the deals are so good.
Yeah, it must be. It must be just trying to keep the place busy. Celtic Manors, Newport, Wales.
Yeah, I think it might. I think it is there. Then I'll have to send you a text. I think it was Celtic Manor.
Because that's where the Ryder Cup was. That'd be amazing to play there. Oh, the Belfry. It might be the Belfry. That's also. I think that's also had a Ryder Cup at some point. That's the one where me and my golf on YouTube.
Yeah.
That's the one where they do all the filming.
Yeah, if that's in Birmingham way, it's that one.
That'd be amazing too. I think that was the Ryder Cup that Sam Torrance was the captain, and Britain won again, or Europe won again. Sorry to you Americans who constantly lose. Yeah, I mean Tiger Woods. What a Revolutionary War. We don't learn about the Revolutionary War. Are you frozen? I think you're frozen. Are you good? Did you hear all? Did you hear all?
I'm alright.
Alright, good. Yeah, I can see it. Yeah. As long as you hear the jokes about the Revolutionary War, that would be.
Call me, can you hear me?
Yeah, you know. So again, going back to you being one thing that they say in America, right, to describe sportsmen or sports persons is that you're an athlete, which you'll hear a lot for some reason, especially in soccer. Like you refer to good soccer players as athletes because they tend to be like really athletic. Do you feel like that helps you out more on the golf course because you play cack-handed, which every time I watch you play, I don't know how you hit a driver 300 yards straight down the middle.
I know I don't know. I've tried to use a left-handed club and I can hit it. I can hit it left-handed, but I can't hit it as far. And then I've tried to change my grip with my hands, and it feels so wrong. So hit a right-handed club the right way.
Yeah.
I feel so stiff and unorthodox. So for me to get to my game to where I've had over the years, to then change it to left-handed and then lose distance and don't know what I'm like on my short game, I just can't change it.
Yeah. Wow. It is every time.
And it's not stopping me from getting better either, because over each year I do think I get a shot or two better.
Yeah. I remember playing Bowron Park with you. Like, it must have been like 8 years ago or something. And there's one hole in Bowron Park where you drove the green, and I was like, fucking hell. It was like 320 yards, and you drove it, and I was just like, oh, what am I doing? I'm shooting 40 over here.
We played. Where did we play the other day? Oh, we played there in Mersey Valley.
Yeah.
And there's a par 5. I think it was 455 yards. And on the tracker on my phone, I hit it 329 yards.
Jeez.
There was a slight breeze, and it was like, honestly, I absolutely nailed this drive. Went straight as an arrow. It didn't go that high, to be fair, as well. And it, like, even our Adam was impressed with that one, and because he thinks he's the biggest and hardest, because he's got the biggest biceps, but he's only a little muppet. He'll be fuming when he sees that.
I'm not even sure he watches it. He never says anything. Luke does though, so Luke will have a laugh. Yeah. All right, let's do the break 90 sort of quiz. First time breaking 90. Do you remember?
Yeah, it was. Do you know what? I didn't really count breaking 90 on Alton.
I said that on the first podcast to Adam. I said because it's the par 67, like.
There's no par 5s. There's no water. Water doesn't make that much of a difference, but when it's on the course, it comes into the fear factor of
Definitely.
Don't go in that water. Oh no, I've just hit it in the water. Do you know what I mean? So I think it was Fiddler's Ferry. First ever time playing there. I think I shot 88 or 87 off the top. I'd have to go on my scorecards and find, but I looked, and it was Fiddler's Ferry, and it was about 5 years ago.
You only broke 95 years ago?
6 years ago.
Wow, and you're like, well, looking to break 80 all the time. That's awesome. I say awesome far too much.
I broke 80 a couple of times, but I broke it twice on a course in York. I'm going to sit in the car and carry on with this, if that's all right.
Yeah, probably got like.
I broke it twice in York on a course called Sandburn. Shot 7 over. I think it was 76, possibly. That was in the 70s. And then I've shot 74 at our manor, which, again, I don't really count that much. It was just a good round of golf that day.
You look at 18 over at Allerton is really breaking 90, so you're looking at, what's that, 70, quick maths, 85, so it's more like breaking 85 there.
Yeah, I'd say so, yeah.
What is your lowest score?
74.
The dream. Highest score?
Oh, rolling back the years here, probably. I'd say it must be 107.
Really?
When you go back to the first time you played 18 holes, you're talking early hundreds, aren't you?
Yeah, and
I'm gonna say over 100. I don't know for definite.
Well, yeah, he's not that bad because he's an athlete. He can get away with it. Like,
it's my dream.
I didn't count my worst one. I got to like the 12th hole and give up. I still played. Not like I
do it. I always done it just to try and know I could better it.
Yeah.
Where now, if I know I'm not shooting my handicap or anything less, my head does go like. But normally I get to 12, 13, I've got a chance.
Yeah, that's like the football player sort of competitive side in you, where like you're always trying to get better. That's you want that.
Especially when I'm playing with, like, I'm not dissing our Adam and Steve, but because I'm well better than them. I'm always like, we played the other day and they wanted to play for £10 each. I had to give Steve 20 shots and I had to give Adam 15.
Oh, yeah.
And Adam beat me by a shot because I got that 7.
I couldn't take money off someone known for a fact I've took 20 shots off you to beat you.
Well, let me tell you, Adam happily did.
Favourite golf brand?
Oh, it was Adidas, but I'm turning to Under Armour. Under Armour's got some good stuff out lately.
Jordan Spieth, major guy for them.
Yeah, honestly, like the body warmers, and I've just bought loads of new stuff. Like, I'd say I do like Under Armour at the minute, so I'm gonna go them.
Nice. Mine is, what's mine? Nike. I can't believe I had to ask that.
I was going to ask you, have you got a sponsorship with Nike, or have they sponsored the podcast, or what?
I wish, man. One day. Although I went to PJ Superstore like 2 weeks ago, which is fucking huge. By the way, they have like 10 golf bays, and they had a lot of Nike stuff, and it was all crap. Well, the last time you played is the next question.
It was about 4 days ago at Carden Park.
And so was Carden Park like up there with a list of best golf?
It's unbelievable. There's 2 courses there. They've got a driving range there. Like everything you want to turn up to a golf course and see, practice, and they've got 2 golf courses, a Nicholas course and a Cheshire course. We played the Cheshire one, and it's in unbelievable condition. Everything about it is just, it's like for us, yeah, it was like playing abroad, if that makes sense.
Yeah, well, it'd be amazing if you get on the Nicholas course, because I've played a couple of Nicholas courses.
I've played the Nicholas one before.
Oh, yeah?
That's better. There's a hole of par 4. It's probably about, if you go straight across the lake that's there, it's about 275 yards. But you're meant to go round it. You know, like you can. It's like a 7-iron and then another 7-iron, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But I've gone for it a few times. I've ended up in the lake a few times, and I've hit the edge of the green or in the bunker next to it a few times. That's a boss solo, proper challenge.
Yeah, there's Nicholas course that I've played there, and it's just insane, the design, and it's like perfection. Everything's mowed, like amazing. The bunkers are like white sand, like on the Masters. It's sick. Favorite golf influencer? So, Break 90.
Well, yeah, you're the only one to follow, really.
Oh, really?
I follow another fella who's from England, and he does mad things, like plays like a par 10 over 4 holes and shows different chip shots and stuff. I'll have to find his name. I can't remember what it is off the top of my head, but follow him on Facebook. But apart from that, it's mainly use.
Nice. Biggest fan. Favorite golf film?
Oh. You seen The Greatest Game?
Greatest game ever played, yeah.
That, and also, if you want to go for a funny one with Adam Sandler.
Gilmore.
Yeah, that's up there just for the humour of it.
Greatest game ever played is Shia LaBeouf, and it's at Brookline, where the US Open is this year, I think, which is in Boston.
Yeah.
So, that's a great film. But then, like, Happy Gilmore, obviously. Have you ever seen Caddyshack?
You know what? I had this conversation when you spoke about it today with Adam. I don't think I have, you know.
Caddyshack. If you obviously love Happy Gilmore, Caddyshack is unbelievable, mate. It's Bill Murray and Chevy Chase. Yeah, you need to watch it.
I've got a feeling if when I put it on, I'll have seen it, but I can't remember if I have or not. I'll have to give it a watch.
Yeah. Well, did we go to mini golf while you were here? We did.
We went to one. Yeah, we had a game of mini golf, and you beat us both. Oh, is it? Yeah.
Yeah.
You knew the role of everything. Like you played there every day for 2 years just for us to turn up.
That's what I'm going to do when you come next time. I'm going to play the golf course for the whole week. Make a tournament out of it. Last two questions. What is a good day at the golf course for you?
Teeing off about 10:30, 11. Breaking 80. And finishing with a good 5 to 10 pints.
5 to 10. Then it becomes a good night. And then the last one, goals for this year. So
break 80 consistently. I wanna get to a point where I stop myself at saying I play off 80 plus and going from there. So say I have 10 games from then and open to have more 70 breaks than 80s.
Yeah, that'd be sick. And then what about like professionally for you?
Finish a full season. It's obviously promotion. I was so close last year. I didn't get the chance this year, and obviously the season coming up, that's the main goal, promotion.
Yeah.
Full season, a new stadium as well, which I can't wait for.
Oh yeah, have you actually not played in that stadium yet?
We had one game. We lost 2-1. I would have got the first goal as he opened the new stadium, but the game was curtailed or null and void, so it doesn't count.
Well, I mean,
so basically, no. I have played there, but I haven't.
It'll go down in the history book still, though. You'll say the first game I ever played was a null and voided game where Newton scored the 1 goal, but then they lost.
Yeah. So yeah.
All right, man. I appreciate you coming on the podcast. I hope it's
pleasure, mate. Good to catch up with you.
Yeah, it's good to talk to you. Hopefully I'll see you in the summer. All right. Thank you so much for watching and listening, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.